Welcome to the call. Let's get this going. It's another beautiful day, Monday. Countdown to Nationals has begun. Lots of exciting times, lots of people moving their schedules around so they can be sure to be at the conference. So hopefully all of you have taken your business seriously enough to get to Nationals. It's not always necessarily convenient or easy. I know this is what Les Brown would say. Les Brown would say, well, if it's hard, then do it hard, right? Like if it's hard to get there, then who cares? It's also hard to be broke and frustrated and alone. So pick your hard. At the end of the day, it's up to you. So I want to go over a couple different concepts this morning and make sure that they're making sense for you. So I often hear people get a little confused when their prospect is giving them some tough questions, maybe just regular questions, just questions in general. Sometimes people are like, I don't know how to take that. So let's go over that for a second. So just as a review, questions are the answer. I know too many people are trying to just fill their brain all sorts of with all sorts of answers. They're trying to like memorize their entire curriculum. They're like, well, as soon as I watch, all 400 hours of this, then I'll be able to go out there and sell it. So just let me get all the answers. But then they never end up talking to anybody or making any money or any sales. And what I focus on is just asking better questions and just understanding that questions are the answer and looking at the kinds of questions that come my way. When you make an offer and you want someone to buy and they don't buy and they have objections over it, what I interpret that as is a destructive request. There we go. I look at objections as destructive. Now, I don't know if this is unique to me or maybe other people listen to it, but whenever someone's talking in general, this is something that I didn't learn until I was 30 years old. So if you didn't catch it in grade school, that's okay, me neither. What I want to share with you is that everyone, all they're saying, thank goodness, my Apple Pencil is being silly today. All people are saying are fancy versions of pleases and thank yous. It's either a please or a thank you. Okay, everything. I mean, that's what this whole webinar is about. It's a big old please. Every day, please go change your life, read more books, sell more education, do more deals, change people's lives. This whole thing is just a big please. So everything that's said, whether it's from you or someone else, everything is just a please or a thank you. So when you're listening, every once in a while I'll upset somebody, and then I need to listen a lot better. And what I'm really doing is I'm listening for please, or another way of saying it is the request. They have a request. So what request is in their statements? They might be yelling it, screaming it, crying it. They might be whispering it, mumbling it. I don't care how it's coming out. Please get this in your head. Everything that's said is either a please or a thank you. When people are being destructive with their request, that's what I will call an objection. Okay, so follow me on this. When someone says, I don't have the money, what they're really saying is a request somewhere in there, will you please help me find the money? But they're not going to say it that way necessarily. What they end up doing is say it in a very destructive way. I don't have the money. I can't do this. This isn't for me. Blah, blah, blah. So what I started doing was listening a lot closer to the objections. But everything that's said is either a please or a thank you. Okay? You can take my word for it, or you could go analyze your next couple conversations today, and you can tell, like, when someone's not getting what they want out of life, their pleases or their request, the quality just goes down and down and down. And so our skill set of needing to listen to that request becomes more and more valuable. It's a skill set. What are you listening to? What are they saying? So questions are the answer. So when we go to ask for the sale, I know a lot of people are getting objections on enrolling, and there's really only 4 main objections, but this is what I wanted to point out. This is how I think about it. I quickly ask for the sale. I asked after the first meeting. So step number 1, don't delay in the asking. Too often, people are waiting 3 or 4 or 5 meetings later to go to ask for the sale. Heck no, I'm asking right away. First meeting, I'm asking for the sale. Now, we get either a yes or a no. No big deal. Yes or no. You tell me. You tell me, customer. I don't care, but you tell me. If we get a yes, well, that was easy. Then we focus on an order entry party, help them build their list, and focus on duplication. But the tendencies and the law of averages say that we're gonna also get a lot of no's. So if we get a no, it's not just a plain old no, it's a no with the reason. And what I do is I use their reason as a request. Somewhere in this objection, they're actually making a request. And if I solve that request, then I ask for the sale again, and the chances are I might get a yes. This is all we're doing here. So what are the main objections that we come across? Some people say, I don't have any time. Okay. So when they say I don't have any time, what I'm hearing is a request. If you helped me with my time, I would probably, right? So to the trained ear, it's a request. What's the request? But if you're not paying attention, you just go, oh man, I found another person with no time. Well, duh. Everybody thinks they don't have time. So that's not the real thing here. The real thing is, what is the request? So if they say I don't have any time, I come up with a few things. First of all, I ask a few questions. Okay. One major thing, when people come up with objections, I would like you, instead of pushing back and being crass or abrasive, how about we just say, of course. Of course you don't have time. That's why I thought this would be a good fit for you, so we could fix that. It's just a little more of this acknowledging step. Acknowledge The objection. Oh, I get it, man. You got a job across town. You're staying up late for this other thing. You got 2 jobs. You got kids. You got a side business, and you're trying to learn real estate. And your wife's going to school, and your kids are in college, but they live in your basement. And it's just I get it. Of course. It's hard to think you don't have any time. I get that. So please, when you're covering and when people bring up objections, you say of course and you agree with them. So time. A few simple things. Let me ask you this. Do you know how many hours are in a week? Right? Using questions. Do you know how many hours are in a week? And some people are like, no. So when they're saying I don't have any time and they don't even know how many hours are in a week, doesn't that just kind of show you that they don't know much about time management, best uses of time? See what I mean? So really, again, that it's just a request. I'm telling you, please put your giraffe ears on and listen. And when I say giraffe ears, you know why I say giraffe ears? Because giraffes have the biggest heart of any land animal. They got the biggest heart. So if you are listening with your heart, you'll hear that this when they say I don't have any time, the request is help me with my time. And there are people who pay thousands of dollars to go to time management workshops and courses and be a part of time management masterminds and study groups. So it's a topic, but it's not that difficult. Let me just break it down for you simply here. You got 168 hours in a week. Okay. In order for you to be successful in Renatus, you need to do 2 hours a week. That's it. 2 hours a week. Here's what I mean. You can either get up 15 minutes early, and stay up 15 minutes late. There's your 30 minutes. Do that 4 times a week. There's your 2 hours. And then I just straight up asked, well, can you get up 15 minutes early? Can you stay up 15 minutes late? Is that okay? Is that something you could do? Well, okay. And that's pretty easy for most people. The other thing I'll say is, how long is your commute? You got a job? How long is your commute? And if they don't have a job, maybe they have a business. I'll just say, well, how long do you spend in the car every day? You know, what's the typical car time that you're spending, or on your way to or from work, or to or from, maybe you got to go pick up your nephew once a week and it's a half-hour drive, whatever. How long do you spend in the car each week? Great. That's your new study time. That is your new study time. And I just turn it into a moment, right? A teaching moment here. So, you know, what's the difference? And if you notice, these are all just questions. Can you get up 15 minutes early? How long is your commute? My next question is, do you know the difference? What's the difference between poor and wealthy people? What's the difference? Get a question out of them. And most people are going to say how much money they have. And I'm going to go back to saying, nope. The difference is how they spend their time. How they choose to spend their time. Wealthy folks know that what they put in their head on a continuous basis is going to affect their life. So if you keep putting the radio on, or you keep putting on these stupid ass talk shows, you realize what's going to happen in your head? Wealthy folks don't listen to that stuff. Wealthy folks are using car time as study time. They're studying their craft. They're studying the market. They're studying their research. They're studying their experts in their field. They're listening. They're listening. So if you want to become wealthy, all you got to do is do what wealthy people do. Hello. And wealthy people spend car time studying. If you're in your car right now and you're driving to work and you're on this call, guess what? You're doing what wealthy people do. How awesome is that? Just being wealthy, spending car time, studying, listening, other people giving you better ideas. When I'm in the car, I mean, we got to drive around yesterday for a while. I'm putting on basic economics. My wife's like, can we listen to something else? This is kind of boring. Well, I know it's boring, but I'm really trying to get rich. So I'm going to listen to it anyway. And then the good news is she gets to spend the money I make, right? So it's a win-win. Car time, study time. And then here's one that people don't want to admit. It's how much time are you watching TV? Netflix, Hulu, whatever crap. So my question would then be to them, would you sacrifice TV for 1 year to make your dreams happen? Right, so even some people are like, well, I just need 30 minutes to veg out every night. When I get off of work, I just put on like a stupid show. Well, that's why you have a stupid bank account. You just put it on stupid shows. So I get it. You want to veg out, but veg out on some real estate stuff. Veg out on some personal development. Woody Woodward's got 400 hours of amazing stories. Veg out on that. And if you're brave enough to say these things to these people, then they go, whoa, like this is real advice. You actually care. You're listening. You're listening to the request. So all objections are destructive requests. And if we pay attention, we'll give them a few key pointers on that request. People are going to listen to you differently. They're going to recognize your value differently. And something else to point out is this 2 hours. If you watch it on 1.5 speed or 2 speed, then you can get 4 hours of class done. I mean, this is bare minimum stuff. I very rarely meet someone that can't squeeze in 2 to 5 hours a week. So don't let time really be the thing. A couple other things on time I just realized is sometimes there's the misperception because we do so many things together on a weekly basis, right, at our offices. There's a misperception that they need to be at the office every week. Now, if you're just getting started and you got to run your kids around town and you're running a business and you sell the job and your spouse has a business or running a job and the schedules are get it to clarify often. Hey, no, you don't need to come to the office every week. No, these classes are online. The classes are online. The study group is online. It's Tuesday nights at 8. It's all online, so you can watch it from your PJs and your bunny slippers. Because a lot of people be like, I live an hour away from the meeting. I can't do it every week. Oh, okay. No, just give me your credit card. I'll sign you up for online classes. So just make sure to clear that up too with people with this time thing. Time really isn't the real obstacle. It's that their unwillingness to stop wasting time is really what it comes down to. Right, Cheryl, 2 hours are for class because I'm selling them classes. So I want them to watch the classes. They'll fall in love with the marketing later on. When I say later on, it's like a week or two. Then they go, this stuff is awesome. I want to sell it. So the next major objection. So there we go. We talked about time. Next major objection. And again, remember, objections are just destructive requests. The next objection is going to be, I don't have any money. Okay, yeah, I hear you. Don't have any money. And then what do we say? We say, of course you don't have the money to do this. And that's why I thought it would be a great fit for you to take a look at this, because this is about making money. And so we just constantly agree. Okay, we agree, of course. And when it comes down to the money, then it's just, again, if questions. If I, would you, blank, question. So if I introduced you to my funding program, would you take a look? If I, would you? If, or if we, or if they, right? Like, because you're going to say credit nerd sometimes. So the money thing's not an issue either, because you're going to say, welcome to the club. Very rarely did someone in this organization just have 20 grand sitting aside ready to buy the second they heard about it. So I get it. I totally get it. But this money issue, what I've learned is people simply don't count. So if you, people simply don't count. When it comes down to it, look, all I did was I did a little counting for them here. I did a little counting for them here. Right? So you are. Let's do some counting. You can get up 15 minutes early, stay up 15 minutes late. I mean, we're just counting. And then it just comes down to more counting. I promise you, the better you can use your counting skill to paint a different picture for people, the more money you're going to make. It's plain and simple. So when they say money, oh, I don't have any money. Oh, okay, sure. You don't have any money. Well, let's count. And I don't really say it that way, but in my brain, that's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking, okay, you think you don't have any money? Well, let's count. Program is anywhere from $2. Now, if I'm, over the phone real quick, or I'm driving my prospect or whatever, obviously I'm not busting it out on a whiteboard, but I'm still going to do some simple math for them. If you put $2,000, this is my script in. If you put $2,000 on a credit card that has a 20% interest, how much cash flow goes down per month? How much does your cash flow go down per month? If it's a $2,000 purchase at 20%, it's $40 a month. Our cash flow goes down by $40 a month. So when they say, well, I don't have the money, then I say, well, 2,000 on 20% is $40 a month. Do you have that? Now, what if the 2,000 is on a 0% interest credit card? How much does your cash flow go down by? 0. It goes down by 0 a month. If it's 0% interest, your cash flow doesn't go down. You still have to make a payment, but when you put that money on the credit card, it's still your money. It's still available, every penny of it. Now, that's not indefinite. That might be 12 to 18, 24 months. But the point is, the cash flow only goes down by 0 to $40 a month. Now, what if they put 20,000 on a 0% credit card? And again, it's 0. That's how this cool thing with interest is working. But again, if it's 20%, Well, just do the math. All we do is move a decimal point over. That would be $400 a month. The cash flow would go down. So have to pay the 20 grand back. That's why we're going to go do real estate and other cool classes, velocity banking, credit management, business credit, retirement accounts. We're going to go learn all these other things. So do you have that? Do you have that? Do you have that? Now the other thing would be, I mean, all this is just more counting. They don't count. So they just arbitrarily say, I don't have the money. And then you put it into a perspective for me. You go, well, dude, it's $35 a month. Your credit card is about 17% interest. Okay, $35 a month. Can you handle that? So the last thing would be, for a general sense of the money, would be if we went over billing or UGA. Right, we went over payments. The payments could be anywhere from $100 a month to about $500 a month. And that's if you have bad credit or no credit, or you don't want to use your credit. You just want to use the in-house option. You could totally be doing that too. So I'll ask, does this scare you? $100 a month, does this scare you? Or can you handle that? Do you have that? So again, when you're listening and you hear them come up with an objection, what do we hear? What do we hear? We hear a request. An objection is simply a request. You know, the old way of doing things and hearing objections was, oh, well, I just need to be polite and whatever, and just let them do their thing. But not here. Not if we're changing lives, right? If you were a coach at a gym, right, and someone says, "Oh my gosh, I'm so tired. This is hard." They're really requesting, "Can I stop?" You say, "No, I'm your coach, man. We're here for an hour. We're going to work out this whole hour." So whatever objection comes up, it's all you're hearing is a request. This is going to change the game. This is going to change how you interact with your people. I don't have any time. Okay. The request is help me find the time. I don't have any money. Okay. Now, there's one that comes up way more common, which is more common than the time, than the money, but they don't want to say it, so they'll say the other ones. But it's this F word, fear. They're more afraid of the new thing than them not having the money or the time. So actually here, we hear a request. So what's the request when someone says, I'm afraid? What they're doing is they're saying, what the request is keep me safe. If you can keep me safe, I'll do this. But I'm afraid. Okay, well, what exactly is it? Are you afraid of losing money? You're afraid of losing your friends? You're afraid of making money? You're afraid of paying taxes on the money? You're afraid of accounting and keeping track of all the money? You're afraid of someone destroying your property as a rental? Are you afraid of being sued? What are you afraid of? Like, what is this thing that we need to keep you safe from? Right? You got bad spending habits, so you just don't want to make a bunch of money because you're afraid of how you'll spend it? What do you mean? So with fear, the number one antidote to fear is education. Right? They sense the risk. Well, what mitigates risk is education and information. So when they say, well, I'm afraid, you say, of course you're afraid. I am too. I was afraid of dying broke as a senior citizen in this country. I was afraid of having to move into my kid's basement when I get older. I was afraid of going on Social Security when I got older. Of course, we're afraid. But I was more afraid of these other things. So we can't let fear stop us. That's why we get educated. Let's start with the essentials. It's $50 a month, $30 a month, $20 a month. And just get a taste for it. And a lot of people will go for that. Obviously, I'd go for the combo first. But if I spend all this time, so then I'll just get them in essentials. And that fear is going to start to go away real quick. Now, if they're not going to, if they don't buy it right when I say, then we just start playing the class. Preview, give them a taste. They need a taste of what's going on. Seriously, I am amazed at how many times something is said and it's still missed. I had a lady who came to our intensive on Saturday, where we did the Mark Kohler intensive in Denver. We had 130 people there. It was freaking awesome. It was this lady's 5th meeting. And she comes up with the excuse, all 3 of them, I don't have any time. I'm like, what are you talking about? You've been to 5 meetings. You obviously have enough time. And she says, well, actually, I don't have any money. But I'm like, well, that's a bunch of crap, because you were just telling me you're trying to buy a house and negotiate with someone right now. You wouldn't be trying to buy a house. And then it came down to, well, I'm just a little bit afraid of wasting my money. I'm like, yeah, I get that. We are too. But you're going to go do real estate and not be educated. That should be more fearful than what we're proposing. Then come to find out, she goes back to the time excuse. Well, I just don't have time. I'm like, well, why not? She goes, well, I live here and I have to drive here, and I just can't make every class. I don't know when the next one is. Come to find out, she didn't know the classes were online. I'm like, what are you talking about? Coming to the next class, they're online. And she's like, what? I'm like, you've been coming to these meetings for a month and a half, and somehow you missed that these are online classes. Wow. Okay. Feedback for me. Now that only came up because of how much I was pressing her to sign up, right? It had been the 5th event. I kept pressing. Sign up or I'm cutting you off. It's $100 a month. Does that scare you? Well, no, it's not that. It's just that I don't know your guys' schedule. Like, schedule? What are you talking about, schedule? Oh, these are online classes. And it totally changed her demeanor, her understanding of what we're offering. And then it started to click, like why she was having me, or like why I was pushing so hard for her to sign up. She's like, oh, because, okay, yeah, I could do it. So, so seriously, here I am 9 years into this business, and I'm forgetting that some people don't connect the dots, that this is online. So maybe when people say I don't have the time, you got to go back to them, like, do you know that these classes are online? It sounds silly, but now we got to make that a part of our checklist. So I don't have any time. All right, there's some questions. I don't have any money. Well, did you actually really count? The other thing I saw in the chat box for money was they say, well, what if they don't have a credit card? Well, if they don't have a credit card, then you send them to getfundedonline.com. Send them to getfundedonline.com. And couldn't count either. I mean, people can count. 1, 2, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, cool, they can count. But what they don't do is they don't interpret what they're counting as a directive. They don't take what they're counting, the numbers that they're counting, and turn it into action steps of something they should or should not do based off of what they counted. That's where we come in. So send them to get funded online. So this is what happened for me. July, I meet up with a guy. He says, cool, I'm in, and then he cancels. I'm like, okay, whatever, dude. Why'd you cancel? Well, I just can't afford it. I don't have any money. Okay. So now here we are in September. He's still talking to me. Comes to another event. So, all right, dude, let's get your order in. He says, cool. But now I sent him to get funded online. Okay. Get funded online says, nope, your credit sucks, dude. So what we did is we put him into the credit repair program. I kept inviting him to events. Then when I saw him, I started, I guess the word would be bragging. I started bragging about him to other people. So I introduced him, like, hey man, this guy's going through our funding program and found a few dings on his credit, so he joined up for the credit repair. So he's cleaning up. He's taking a hold of his finances. So back here, he was saying, I don't have any money. And now a few months later, I'm bragging. Of course, I had to keep following up. But now I'm building up his self-confidence. Look, dude, you are taking control. So a few more months go by. He does the credit repair. And just 2 weeks ago, I get a letter from Credit Nerds, or an email from Credit Nerds saying that he's been submitted to funding. So he's got all of his scores up over 750. And now he's getting new credit cards. Okay, so then I'll be able to make my 10,000. How many months have gone by? July all the way to March. My goodness. That's an 8-month follow-up. 8 months for 10,000 bucks. I'm cool with that. Because if you break down the time, this whole experience with him probably cost me, I had to be patient. Some people pretend to count and then you got to just show them how to actually count. This whole thing over 8 months, being on the phone, meeting with him. I'm not counting at the meetings because I was going to go to the meetings anyway, but just meeting with him and being on the phone with him, handling his file, putting his order in, reading the stuff from Credit Nerds, less than 10 hours. Took 8 months on the calendar, but of my time, about 10 hours. So you get $1,000 an hour to help these people. Now, if I would have just gone off the whole thing of, oh, you don't have any money, dang it. Oh, I guess this won't work. Just don't listen to that crap, I guess is what I'm saying. Okay, so we have time, money, fear, and then the last one, which is self-explanatory, is they just say, well, I don't know how, right? Lack of knowledge. Okay, so you have a lack of knowledge. Of course you have knowledge, right? Of course, we remember, of course. Buy the classes. That's what's gonna solve it. That one, that's why I say it for last. That one's easy. Time, money, fear, knowledge. Help them count their hours, help them count their dollars. Fear comes down to keeping me safe, which means they just don't know how to count what's going in and out. So again, it's more counting, and lack of knowledge by the classes will teach you how to count. It's all coming down to counting. That's what I'm learning. Count your leads, count your texts, count your follow-ups, count your interest rate, count your return on investment, count your cash flow, count your expenses, count your payments, count. It's just all counting. If you're really good at counting, you just assume that other people are counting. Just like I assumed that that lady knew we had online classes. So don't make assumptions. This is what we do. We ask for the sale. We get a yes or a no. If we get a no, we solve the objection, go back for the ask. Okay, so now that you can see that it's only going to take 3 hours a week, if you do this over the course of a year, you put in 150 hours on a brand new skill set that's going to drastically change your life. It's going to start to set you apart. So are you ready to get started? And then we finally get our yes. Don't be shocked if you get a no 3, 4, 5, 6 times. That's why I ask right away. Ask for the order instantly. All right, meeting's over. You ready to sign up? Why the hell should I talk anymore? This is awesome. Don't make me waste my time. Are you in? Some people were like that. Other people, a lot more patient. Pat them on the back. Hold their hand. Okay, did you see this and this? Pretty cool, right? Ready to get started? But no matter how we're doing it, you're still constantly asking for the order.